Hey, what's up, gamers, and all the ships at sea? My name is AE, and I like to play E. This is my YouTube channel, Let's Play E, where I'm going to share some of my favorite games and other forms of play with anyone who cares to watch and listen. I am once again playing Vampire Survivors in episode 2 of our vanilla Let's Play series, where I play the game from the beginning for your delight and edification. As always, you can get this retro pixel roguelite survival reverse bullet hell beauty of a Castlevania pastiche on Steam for the dark princely sum of $2.99. The game is currently in early access, but is entirely playable, and there are regular content updates, both in line with a published developer's roadmap for version 1.0.0 and containing a steady feed of secrets and surprises to uncover. No DLC, no NFTs, no pay to play or pay to win, no loot boxes, just boxes to loot. So, let's get into it. Oh, I have just been tapped on the shoulder by my very nice office cat, Tommy, politely letting me know that she's here and would like to be involved. I have to add a camera to my setup, as I mentioned, because Tommy is very determined to make this video series into an ensemble piece, and I have no objection to that. I doubt anybody else would either. I've just given Tommy a little reward for her good manners and given me a nice gentle tap on the shoulder to let me know that she's sitting in her chair next to me. So, as always, there is a photosensitivity warning. As ever, I shall urge you to obey your own needs and comfort. If you are not comfortable or safe watching a video where somebody's playing a video game where things can be happening in a very fast-paced fashion, then please do not feel a moment's guilt or doubt about clicking out of this video. Nobody owes it to anybody to engage with any content on the internet. So I would rather not have the clicks and interaction and whatever incidental audience building I may gain from another click if it means you putting yourself at risk. I always like to stop and stare at this splash screen, which to me is just the pinnacle of what this game is about. It's cheesy, it's vaguely related to anything that happens in the game. It is just the epitome of late 80s video game advertising art. If you watch the first episode, you know that this gentleman holding the whip does not actually greatly resemble the sprite for the main character who wields the whip. There's enough similar that you can tell vaguely who it's supposed to be. The same is true, you will learn, about the mage over his shoulder in the sort of Bayonetta cheesecake pin-up type pose. There's enough markers with the hair and the purple mantle and the white suit bodysuit type arrangement that you can tell vaguely who it's supposed to be, but she does not actually look like that in the game. So our first episode, we did one run. We made it less than 15 minutes. I wish I had made a note of what the time is so I can compare them. I think I will make a point of doing that later on. I could, of course, watch the video, but I'm already recording this one. But we earned 840 coins. I was hoping against hope to get at least 500 for a very important reason. I'm going to check, make sure I do have the flashing VFX turned off. That turns off the biggest, flashiest, most obvious flashing light effects of the game. But especially as things advance in the game, not necessarily this run, but I couldn't tell you when, there will be things where things are changing up on the screen very quickly in a very flashy fashion. So again, please take that photosensitivity warning seriously. So I have 840 coins. I can spend these on power-ups. I can't quite afford cooldown, which I don't have these prices memorized. It's been a long time since I've had to engage with them. So you'll see me checking what they cost. I think everything in these first two rows except for cooldown I can get. I cannot afford a mount, which adds an extra projectile to every weapon that has numbered projectiles. That is huge off the bat. Cooldown and a mount cost more. because rate of fire is one of the single greatest advantages you can have in a game where you're crunching numbers on statistics, even more so than a damage bonus. Increasing rate of fire increases damage, but it also increases everything else the weapon does. Can't quite afford growth, which increases my experience gain. Could afford greed, and there is something to be said for pumping greed early on so you get more coins faster. Can just afford luck. That would be pretty good, but before I commit to anything, I'm going to unlock a character. I mentioned in my last episode, my first episode, that I learned about this game from Jacob Andrews of Drawfee fame on his shared stream with his now fiancée, Julia Lepetit, Secret Sleepover Society. He had more characters than this revealed and unlocked. He was further along in the progression, at or close to what was 100% completion at the time. He referred to Gennaro as the best character, and he certainly is the easiest of the first 4 characters in this first family of vampire hunters that you know about and have available. His passive ability is +1 projectile to all weapons, for all weapons, on every run. And as we just saw, the game thinks this advantage is worth 5,000 coins. I have 840 out of what I consider to be a very good first run. So that just gives you some quantification for how good this ability is. His starting weapon is the knife, which is not the most powerful weapon in the game. When I had a level 1 knife on my first run, it took, I think, 3 hits for it to break a single torch. But it's the most directable weapon in the game. It's the one you have the most control over. So he's got the easiest weapon to use, and he gets +1 projectile to all weapons, which, for most weapons, that equals double the damage per second right out of the gate. So yeah, we're spending 500 on Gennaro. That leaves me with 340. I think I'm only going to be able to afford 1 power-up in the lower tiers. I could get second tier costs 300. I'm saying tiers, I don't mean these rows. I'm talking about the way that the prices are grouped. Curse is a power-up that buffs your enemies. It is not strictly a disadvantage, because if you're powerful enough to defeat more enemies, it's good for farming gold and experience. But I can't afford it, and I wouldn't want to at this point. I think I'm between, I can't afford armor, but max health and recovery both would increase my survivability. And might would increase my damage output. My feelings on this game are that the best defense really is a good offense. If enemies are dying faster, they're getting out of your way faster, they have less time to inflict damage on you. So out of the available options, I am going to go with Might. There is a refund button that returns all of your money to you, zeroes out all of your options. So if Might is not working out for me and I realize I need more health or want to get more money faster, I can redo this on a future run. Going with Might for now. We are definitely playing Gennaro. I was not expecting to have Gennaro for my second run. Hopefully I do not get overconfident. These bats, I think, have literally 1 hit point. So the weakness of the knives, not a huge problem. Garlic. I unlocked this. This is one of the reasons I was chasing the torches last time, to pick up those floor chickens. Get 5 floor chickens in a run, and you unlock garlic. Gives me this damaging aura around me. These 1 hit point bats, I think they are literally incapable under normal circumstances of reaching me through this aura. I don't think it's possible. I don't think they can do it. I'll have to be careful when more monsters start appearing. Alright. On my first run, I took the Laurel when it was offered, because it does increase your survivability, being able to tank hits without losing hit points. I'm tempted to take the Santa Water because I haven't had it yet, and because I feel like there are things that unlock from leveling the Santa Water successfully. If it comes up again, I think I will take it. I'm going to play it safe because I already feel overconfident. I can feel cocky. I know how cocky I am about having Gennaro, so I'll take the Laurel. That gives me that dark energy shield around me. I'm going to be learning a lot as I play about how powerful a starting character isn't. Because on my actual main save game, I've been playing for months at a level where I would just push through any crowd of enemies with the garlic. See, there, that one. Did not die fast enough and I lost my Laurel shield. It will come back to me. Definitely cannot sit there and tank the blue wing bat. I believe there are still more things to unlock from torches, so I think as the game heats up, I am going to take the Empty Tome, reduces weapons cooldown by 8%. This would not seem to apply to the garlic because the garlic is constant, and the Laurel is not a weapon per se, but it actually does buff them. It increases the rate enemies take damage from the garlic aura, and it increases the recharge rate of the Laurel. It is easily it's the workhorse accessory. There are other accessories that may be more essential to specific goals, but the Empty Tome is always a good pick. Even on my incredibly overpowered, super high level current progression main save, where I've got 100% completion and then a bunch of grinding on top of that, I still kind of kick myself if I... Look how different. If you watch the first episode and saw me scramble to get out of the way of those bat swarms, and now I'm just diving straight towards them because they're gonna break like a wave against the rock that is my garlic aura. I think I'm gonna increase my garlic. You see the aura got bigger. It's also doing more damage. Both of those things make it less likely anything's gonna get through it to attack me. And I can just bask in those swarms of bats. That is so good. I'm trying to break up this swarm of Bracer. Oh, something else. My second run. I don't know if I've paused yet, but there is now a statistics screen that was not visible on my first run. You can see a lot of my stats are zeroed out. I have no bonus to most of them. That plus 5% to might is... I bought that before the run. The speed is from the Bracer. It puts the accessory as the icon. The cooldown minus 8%, that is from that. Magnet is my pickup range. That's just the default. If I'm within 30 dots, I don't know if they're literally pixels or what the unit of measurement is, but if I'm within 30 is when those gems kind of come alive and jump to me. Okay, I think I will go with the magic wand. Just to get the magic wand, auto-targets the nearest enemy to you. See how much more easy a time I had dealing with that bat. I couldn't really stand still and face it, because it would have just pushed through my aura. But with the garlic damaging it constantly, and then the magic wand also targeting it, I was more than 5 minutes in before I killed this first blue wing bat on my first run. And now I had to be smart about it, but I could fight it. That's how much difference there is between the first run and the second. I think we'll go with the armor. Again, don't want to get cocky. So, oh, skeletons. Gotta be smart about them, but I can do more about them now. The fact that the magic wand's projectiles rock them back a little bit helps. If I recall, the garlic aura has a debuff effect. Take the spinach or show you a new weapon. We'll show you a new weapon. The fire wand targets an enemy at random, and it will always aim at an enemy, not necessarily the closest one or a helpful one. When you've got a big horde of enemies in the center of the screen that you're avoiding, the fireballs will tend to be going for one of them, which means it could hit several of them or any of them. That's useful. Does a lot of damage, not a high rate of fire. Clover, that increases. I just got 10% luck. The luck statistic is easy to overlook, but it affects a lot of things in gameplay. The game outright tells you one of them. Sometimes there are 4 things here, sometimes there are 3 things here. I could show you a new weapon, but I'm not at the point where I can take a novelty weapon just to show you what it does without severely hampering my effectiveness. I'm gonna go for a faster magic wand. We'll do that. The magic wand and the fire wand are sort of complementary weapons in that one of them, the magic wand, is highly targeted, fairly fast, not super damaging. The fire wand is a wide shotgun-like effect. Yeah, we'll take more cooldown. That's more damage for every weapon, plus more protection from the laurel. But yeah, the fire wand is like a shotgun aimed at random. The magic wand is more of a close-range pistol, kind of upgrading over time to a semi-automatic pistol and then an automatic pistol. But it's one's high damage. Yeah, we'll show you a new weapon, the Clock Lancet. Another non-damaging weapon, like the laurel. There's a beam that is appearing on the screen at the 12 clock points in sequence, and anything it hits is being briefly frozen. The pocket watch item I picked up in my first playthrough that froze every enemy for several seconds did the same effect. Not just to everything on the screen, but everything that spawned in during the effect. It does work on bosses. You can sort of exploit the fact that it happens in a circular pattern, as I just was able to engage with this mini-boss, and keep it frozen through multiple... I'm realizing now I meant to save a slot for the Santa water, the holy water item, because there is an unlock attached to that, but I'm happy with my choices. When I'm dealing with things like the werewolves and red-winged bats that I just still am not really in a great position to fight, I misjudged my pickup distance the other way than I had been doing in the first one there. I thought I was far enough away from the watch to not pick it up. I would have liked to save it for a later wave. That's okay, though. This gives me a chance to pick up some experience gems that I missed. The fire wand, not targeted, but it does a better job of taking out these green ghouls than anything else I had on the first... Ooh, big coin. Oh, here we go. The attract orb. Actually, that's the vacuum orb. The attract orb is an accessory version of that, which I have just unlocked by picking that up on this run. So I will be able to get the attract orb as an accessory on my next one. Both of these defense things, tempting. I will take more knife, though. 3 knives instead of 2. Normally starting with 1 knife, and then the first level up gives you a second one, but Gennaro gets +1 projectile to everything. Which, if you notice that the fire wand throws more than 1 fireball right off the bat, so it's not quite a doubling of FPS for the fire wand, but the fire wand already has a high damage output. And the fact that the fire wand aims at a random enemy, but it fires in a spread of multiple projectiles means it's very likely to hit more than 1 enemy unless you're very close to one. This just happened as I was describing that. Oh, we got another bat. As I've got 3... Oh, problem. Got cocky. I knew that cockiness was going to be a problem with Gennaro. Even with the garlic, the bats can still be dangerous if they're pushing something tougher onto me. The bats instantly die when they touch my garlic aura, but they can push something a little more robust against me. Walking away from the horde forces them to spend more time in my garlic aura, sort of winnow down the ones around the edge. I'm not really picking up those experience gems, but the horde will move on from them and I can circle back around. One reason I'm not super fussed about trying to get all of the experience gems to get dropped is it's just plain impossible to do that. Even as you get more powerful, you're just killing more enemies faster. So gems are scattered to all edges of the screen, and as you go for one edge of the screen, more gems are being dropped behind you. But another reason is the existence of those vacuum orbs. I think we'll take spinach. More damage means my garlic aura kills things faster. My knives kill things faster. I like the knives because as your character gets more powerful and as you get more levels of knife, they can literally cut a path whichever direction you're facing. And then even if you've got enemies closing in on the sides, you can have other weapons taking care of that. It's just, the fact that you can direct your attacks is a game changer. Laurel lets me be a little more careless. What time are we at? Okay, 8 minutes. I'm going to try to clear up some old business here, if I can. Get some of this experience. Yeah, we'll take the crown. Maybe a marginal choice in that it doesn't help me live long enough to pick up more experience points, but it makes the ones I get go further, which could help me live longer. Okay. We're gonna... That was a mistake. That was a mistake. And I do not have any recovery. So I'm now going to be looking for chicken. Because my hit points now are what my hit points are going to stay if I don't eat chicken. Oh, more bats, more bats. Okay. Yeah, the cockiness was a problem. I did not even make it as far in this run, or get as much money in this run, or kill as many enemies in this run as I did the first one. I did, I think, unlock a few things. Unlocked Clover as an accessory. That's a game changer. Unlocked a Tract Orb. That's nice. Unlocked Pumarola. That is super huge. As before, I am not going to go shopping on this second episode with the money that I earned on the run. I'm going to save my 468 coins for the start of the next run, so I don't have to remember what I have done that's going to be different for me. So that was my second run. If you got anything out of watching this, please feel inordinately free to interact with the video in any of the prescribed fashions. Hit the bell, hit the like, ring the bell, subscribe, support me on Patreon or Ko-fi in the links down below. And in closing, please remember to do whatever you can to take care of yourself and each other, because in the end, we're all just trying to survive the night. This is AE, signing off.